Alright, I'm going to do a review of the Ether event. Just got done watching it. I'm going to try to go over the undercard really quick. I'm going off of memory. I don't remember all the battles. But when I first started it, I saw about half of that Caustic, Cali Smooth. It seemed like Caustic won. Only saw half of it, but just, based off of... Seemed like Cali Smooth was a little inexperienced. Big T versus who was it? Active. I give that one a Big T. I don't think it was a great showing by Big T. It was a mediocre showing. He showed a lot better when he went up against Dizaster recently. Before this, official versus Bonnie Godiva didn't happen. Apparently, Bonnie Godiva did not show. Big K versus Conceited. I thought Big K won. Conceited sounded a little outdated. His style just seemed a little shaky tonight. Heartless versus Danny Myers. I thought Heartless had good bars, but Heartless' presentation was weak. Danny Myers was a full package, but sometimes Danny Myers' aggression seems a little forced. I did like the fact that Danny Myers came on stage with like all of the A-hat behind him. I thought that, not all the A-hat, but at least he had the dude OD, the main dude from it. So I thought that was pretty slick. Other battles, Sirius Jones and Daylight. I'd say Sirius Jones won that. Daylight's third round was horrible. At the very end, he tried to get his boys to rap for him, and they just got booed until it ended. Real Deal versus Immaculate was the best match of the night. It wasn't even close. That was the best. There was nothing even, there was no second place. I thought Real Deal won that. I thought Ilmac was the better rapper in it, but Real Deal had those angles. What else? What other battles were there? Anything else that comes to mind? Boondock something or other. Dude from LA versus, I don't know. I thought that match was whack. Dudes were like dropping the mic and stuff. And Cassidy versus Dizaster. Oy, Lord have mercy. It was a one round. It was a one round battle. There was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of chaos. There was a lot of talking. There was a lot of booing on each side. It was pretty much like a no contest. But you got to saw the level that Cassidy is at, and the level that Cassidy is at. If you would have had a fair battle where both of them can get their stuff off without, Dizaster would have destroyed him, in my opinion. He wouldn't have killed him as bad as Cannabis and I don't think he would have made him quit like Joe Budden, but I think it would have been a clear W. I don't want to say kill him, but it would have been a clear. I think Dizaster clearly would have won the battle, just because Cassidy he tried to do the extra hardcore approach at the beginning, and then he just rapped forever, and it was like he just sounded like a regular mixtape or freestyle Cassidy, for most of the round. Then at the end, he started to get booed some, and then he just kept rapping. It seemed like he rapped for like 10 minutes. He would take like a minute pause, and then he would just start rapping again. And then there was one point where Dizaster started rapping his rhyme, and then Cassidy's like, hold on, and comes with another 4 bars. It's like, dude, come on, man, what are you gonna... It just got comical. But they ran out of time. Now, it seems like people are already talking about, did Cassidy try to slow the process down on purpose? Not really, in my opinion, because maybe he did or he didn't, but to me it's irrelevant, because I don't think they would have completed that battle anyways, because there was way too much... It took too long to get on the stage because the Sirius Jones Daylight people were leaving the stage. And I think what happened was maybe, and I'm just guessing, but because Daylight and Dizaster share some of the same entourage, I'm thinking that maybe all the Daylight people, they were trying to stay on the stage because they were, going to be on for the Dizaster, but they were trying to push everybody off the stage, and then the Cassidy and Dizaster people were coming on the stage as they were trying to go off the stage, and then you have 4 entourages worth of people on the stage, it felt like. And then they put them down on the overflow, like the pit in front of it. And it just, they mixed all the, you know, the Cassidy entourage with the Dizaster entourage. It just didn't work out. Like I said, they ran out of time. It got ended. What I thought about the pay-per-view as a whole, they had sound problems. The sound problems were bad. Like, they had terrible sound problems. Like, to the point to where Laura Tarsi and Bizarre, the announcers, they were worthless. Shouldn't even have had them. I didn't hear but 10% of what they had to say. Then they were fighting over the microphones. They didn't. Bizarre had no input at all. Laura Tarsi tried to have legit input, but he really seemed like he's a weird dude, man. Like, that dude just, honestly, he seemed thirsty, man, to tell the truth. So the sound, Real Deal, I missed some of Real Deal's verse. I missed some of Big K's verse. I missed some of Conceited verse. I missed some of Sirius Jones' verse because of mic problems. I mean, it was bad. The mic problems were really bad. Lush had no control of the event at all, especially towards the end. He just had no control. He was literally, he just started getting emotional and flipping out on the microphone and stuff. But yeah, it was like towards the end when they were running out of time. It was Dizaster. I thought at first when they're, you know, first they're the entourage stuff. It's like, you know, you leave it to Lush to organize it. And then I think once it got apparent that Lush couldn't organize it and then that no one else could, Dizaster, I thought, got his people, Dizaster, you could tell Dizaster had control of his people. You know what I mean? Like, Lush did not have control, but Dizaster had control of his people. Cassidy seemed like he really didn't care. You know what I mean? Cassidy was just kind of sitting back, like, waiting. Like, he just didn't care what happened, you know. He got his loot already, which is kind of what I expected from him. But it took a little bit longer to get Cassidy's people off the stage. The event itself, I thought it reminded me of Total Slaughter, but it was like a step up from Total Slaughter. But it was still they had the entourages behind the rappers, which I thought was good rather than just the empty stage. But the fans were so far from the stage that the crowd reaction, it wasn't what you're used to. Let me put it that way. It was there. You could hear it. It was more than the Total Slaughter. You could hear it, but it wasn't, you know, to the level it needed to be. But the biggest problem with the event was, I would say, the sound was obviously the #1 problem. The second problem was they had too many battles on the card. It was just way too much. The third problem was the crowd control. The host, Lush, could not control the crowd towards the end. And the fourth problem was just the crowd reaction. They needed the crowd to be a little bit closer, I thought. Now, the things that I did like about it, I did like the introductions. Especially like on the first half of it. It seemed like it was like a boxing type of feel, you know, when they were coming in. So I thought that was pretty slick. The idea of commentator, you know, like after the battle ends, that you get, you know, your analysts to review it. I like that idea, but you have to get somebody better than Bizarre and Laura Tarsi. And it was funny. They listed Bizarre as a battle rapper. Battle rap specialist or so, I don't know what the hell they get, but you got to get people better than that. I've seen Laura Tarsi try to do like 2 or 3 events, and it's, you know what I mean, like, dude, she just, I'd rather have somebody ugly up there that knows what the hell they're talking about than somebody that looks nice but doesn't. You know, even though she does know what she's talking about to an extent, she just has no, like, she has no command. And she just let Bizarre just bounce her around however he wanted to. I don't think that Cassidy necessarily tried to stall out until the time ended. I think with Cassidy, I think that he just didn't care if it ended or not. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things where he could care less. I think that's more what it was. But like I said, everything was already running late. The Sirius Jones Daylight battle was being rushed. So, you know what I mean? It was already happening. But all in all, it was far worse than the Total Slaughter event. Like, far worse than the Total Slaughter event. On a scale of like 1 to 10, I'll say I'll probably give it like three stars out of 10 or something like that. And I mean, it just is what it is. I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna keep doing it. Obviously, they need to use the King of the Dot, format, instead of try to create new formats. Because if this was on King of the Dot, it would have been. I think it would have been a lot better. But it's just the length of it, though. It's like I don't like sitting through 7 hours of battle rap. Now, it's one thing when it's like, there's breaks in between, and you're doing whatever you're doing. But like 7 hours where there's like freaking 10 different battles or something, you know what I mean? It was too many damn battles. Like the high stakes pay-per-view, that was 6 hours long, but there were like 5 battles. And I mean, it was long, but the battles were a lot better. And I'm only comparing it to that because that was another, pay-per-view that was really long like that. So yeah, Dizaster would have won. Like I said, based on Cassidy's bars, I got what I wanted out of it. I just wanted to see where Cassidy was at. Dizaster, like I said, if you would have done that in a quiet room or something, I think Dizaster would have won. I think that to most battle rap fans, they'll probably say Dizaster would have won. I mean, I think that Cassidy... I mean, I think there are people that would say Cassidy probably would have won or was winning just because he was more hardcore with the stuff. He was more street with the stuff. I mean, he said, he didn't do terrible. It's just that he didn't know when to stop, and it was just, he just kept, and he was killing himself. And Dizaster even said it on stage, which proved, I mean, Dizaster was talking through his stuff too, and he was talking through Dizaster's, but man, it was just like really, there was no control. There was no control there. But I'm really not that disappointed, really. And like I said, I just wanted to see where Cassidy was at, so I got to see that. And I don't think you're going to see Cassidy back in the battle ring ever. I don't see it. Nah, not for that money. You know what I mean? Like, he sounds, in the battle world, he sounds exactly like his freestyles. And his freestyles I like some of his freestyles, but, it's one thing to battle somebody, it's another thing to freestyle. So I don't think that you'll really see him back, and definitely not for that price tag. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. Yeah.